Swinburne University of Technology.
My name's Rhiannon McIntyre. I'm a Community Engagement Officer at the Fair Work Ombudsman. The Fair Work Ombudsman gives you advice and information about your rights and obligations when you're working in Australia. So the Fair Work Ombudsman's role is to ensure your rights are understood, protected and also enforced. We work with bosses, workers and also the rest of the community to provide free help and assistance about workplace rights and obligations. We run education and also compliance campaigns, and sometimes we take legal action to enforce people's workplace rights. Everyone working in Australia has rights and protections at work. So this includes students, it includes international students, young workers and workers from overseas. If you are an international student working while you study in Australia, it's really important that you understand what your rights and obligations are. International students get the same pay and conditions as Australian workers, so you shouldn't be paid any less than the Australian minimum rate of pay. In Australia, all bosses have to follow the Australian workplace laws. This is regardless of whether their workers are from Australia or from overseas. So in other words, the workplace laws in Australia, they cover workers regardless of their length of stay in Australia, so long as their visa states they are allowed to work in Australia. So what should students look out for? First of all, be careful of being paid cash in hand. So it is alright for your boss to pay your wages in cash rather than by a cheque or into your bank account. But the actual term cash in hand, it generally means something different. It's generally a term used to describe a cash payment where no tax is taken out. And this is actually against the law, and it could mean that you're being paid less than the minimum rate. The second thing that you should look out for is ask your boss if you're casual. So in Australia, workers can actually be full-time, part-time or casual. Full-time and part-time workers, they usually get regular hours, they can take paid leave on holidays or when they get sick, and they also get notice before they lose their job. On the other hand, casual workers, they're not guaranteed regular hours. They work more on a day-to-day basis and they don't get paid leave and they don't get notice before they lose their job. Casuals in Australia usually get higher rates of pay to make up for this. So it's really important before you start your job to always ask your boss whether the position is full-time, part-time or casual. The third thing you should look out for is to make sure that you understand about your pay. There are a few certain things which we advise you to look out for. The first is that your boss should be giving you a pay slip within at least 1 working day of you being paid. The second thing to look out for in relation to your pay is that you should be paid for every hour that you work. So this includes any training you're directed to attend, and it also includes opening or closing the business at the end of the day. The third thing in relation to pay is that your boss should be paying you in money. So you can't be paid in goods or services like food or clothing, for example. One tip that we recommend is to keep your own work records. So one way of doing this is by keeping a work diary. For example, in a work diary, you can record your start time, your finish time, any breaks that you've taken, any leave that you've taken that day, who your supervisor was for that day, and any incidents that occurred during that day. By keeping a work diary, it helps you keep track of your shifts and also keep track of your pay. The benefit of this is that you can then check your work diary against your pay slip to make sure you're being paid correctly. If you want some more information, you can visit our website. We have heaps of free tools and resources. These tools and resources include an interactive online learning centre, which has award-winning courses. They teach both businesses and workers skills and strategies to help you at work. We also have lots of fact sheets about your minimum rights and obligations, again, both for businesses and for workers. And we have some fact sheets which are specific for overseas workers and specific for international students. On our website, we also have calculators to help you calculate what your minimum rate of pay should be, and also calculate what your entitlements to annual leave and personal or sick leave, and also if you're ending employment, what your entitlements are then as well. We have information to assist both bosses and workers from non-English speaking backgrounds. Some of our resources have been translated into 27 different languages, We've also got a Fair Work info line, so if you're seeking assistance, you can call 13 13 94, or there's a free interpreting service which is also available on 13 14 50.
This has been a Swinburne production.